and I didn't mean to move. Like there is no.
Hey y'all, welcome to another Tuesday night on Conversations on the Intellectual Soapbox YouTube. Sorry, let me turn mine. I got too much going on. Okay. On the the Intellectual Soapbox YouTube channel, I want to welcome first and foremost my guest. Tonight is about the men. And so I would like to welcome the gentlemen that have chosen to come up and hopefully they share openly and candidly. Tonight's topic is how men deal with anger. There's a typo when the title is not me. Anyway, it's how men deal with anger. Um, More so in a constructive manner. But again, this is not to put anybody down. There will be some rules posted in the public chat forum. One, men will not be criticized. Um, Two, women will not be bashed. Now we know that we all have our role to play in each other's of what causes each other's emotions. We're going to try to keep this clean, classy, cordial, and constructive. Anywho, number three, this is a safe space, safe haven. And four, respect the panel, please. I mean, it's okay to have your opinions. It's definitely okay. When I say respect the panel, people are sharing openly things that are deep, that could be deep, come from a deep, wounded place. So please respect them and their willingness to be vulnerable and candid. So, without further ado, I want to start off with a quote, as I usually do. The quote says, "The strong man is not the good wrestler. The strong man is the only one who controls himself when he is angry." That is by Prophet Muhammad. All right, so I want to welcome my co-host first and foremost, Mr. Von Bryant. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. I want to thank you for co-hosting this with me, and I'm going to try to fall back a little bit. Y'all know I'm the queen of questions, so I'm always going to jump in with something. And then I want to welcome one of our regulars, Mr. Razik. How are you?
Cool, cool.
And then we have a new guest with us tonight, Mr. Tommy Baker, a good friend of mine. How are you, sir?
Hey, greetings, everybody. How are y'all? Glad to
Alrighty,
be here.
so without further ado, we're just going to get into the conversation, and then we will acknowledge the people in the chat, in the comment section. So let's talk about anger, and specifically how it deals with men. Um, Most people try to say women are emotional. Yes, and I can attest this woman is very emotional. It doesn't take a lot to get to me at times. Anywho, let's talk about men. Um, what absolutely pushes your, like what just sends you over the cliff, Mr. Vaughn?
Well, definitely one thing I can say is disrespect, and I have a very low tolerance for disrespect. Now, how I respond to it, see, that's another question, and that's what the conversation is basically about. Because yeah, it really burns my wick when you find the need to disrespect me. You see what I'm saying? For no reason possibly at all. So Yeah, so that would be one of my major top ones right there is disrespect.
If I can chime in, I would have to say being misunderstood. For
Mhm.
me, it kind of takes me to the moon. Truth be
Okay.
told, understanding is everything to me.
Okay. And then we can elaborate on that a little bit more because I have a few things to put. Y'all know I do my reading and my research, and I try to pull up articles that are relative to the discussion. Mr. Rosie, what is something that absolutely drives you to that Tasmanian devil level?
Um, Dudes who tell me to suck their dick.
To what?
Um, Dudes who tell me to suck their dick. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? Like in the heat of the moment, yeah, that's
Oh wait,
automatic go
wow.
action. Automatic. Girls who tell me to suck their dick, that's automatic go action. You know what I'm saying? I don't tolerate none of that shit. And you know what I'm saying? Specifically the F word. You know, I can't say it up here. You know the F word that I'm talking about. But yeah, it really ain't too much to like blow balls like balls my my rocket. You know what I'm saying? But those two specific things, yeah, absolutely no zero tolerance. I'm going
Mm.
inside your face. Um, so
alrighty then. Yeah, that would piss me off too. Ain't gonna lie. And it pisses me off when women say it, which is anyway, that's another topic. But yeah, I can see that. We want to welcome another guest, Mr. True. How are you doing, sir?
Good evening, everyone.
All
How are
right,
you, QB?
I'm great. Since we're just getting started, I just asked everyone what is something that you can think of that just sets you on fire, that boils your blood, that just takes you there.
Basically what Von Bryant said, being disrespected when I didn't do anything.
Okay,
And one thing that I do have to work on is my response to that.
and that's what we're
Mhm.
going to talk about
I am
tonight.
very violently opposed to being disrespected, especially if it's not relative.
Mhm.
Okay, so now first I want to say hello to my sis, and then Gwen, who's out in Arizona, and I'm always going to mess up this lady's name. I so apologize. Please, Inye, I think it's her name. Please forgive me.
You pronounce it ene,
Ene,
eh, ene.
Ene. Okay,
There you go, ene,
Ene.
enenia.
Okay, please give me a
I've been
moment.
practicing that, so you know.
Okay,
She expressed how to say it, so I've been working on it.
well, thank you for that. Okay, so let's talk about how you deal with that anger. Let me read you. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm going to give you a scenario, and tell me how you would have reacted. So, a lady and her husband go out to dinner, and the dinner went great until they got ready to leave, and so she started nitpicking, saying he shouldn't have ate so much, he shouldn't have had dessert, and so he just instead of responding, he said, "You know what?" He just quietly walked out of the restaurant, left her standing at the door. Um, he was dealing with
Mm.
something, and the article goes on to talk about when men are dealing with something, they respond differently. So if someone, not just a woman, but someone comes at you and says something to you in a moment where you're like, you don't know what I'm dealing with, you don't know who I am, that was, they don't know how to read the room. So, how would you respond, Tommy?
How would I respond to that in the moment when uh when she made that statement? I think you're right. If I'm going through something and I'm just basing off my 13 years of marriage, and my wife really hadn't looked at the telltale signs of me dealing with something, and I respond a certain way or spaz out, you're right. We might respond differently if we're going through something that we're internalizing. So I probably would uh, trip out. Uh, But then again, it goes back to my initial statement, getting an understanding. So
Mm,
she might ask me,
mm,
why'd you respond that way? Well, I'm glad you asked, because typically they don't ask questions as to what we're going through. So I like to talk about what I'm going through so that I won't respond, uh, out of turn or uncouth, you know. So it's
mm,
important for me to get an understanding before responding.
mm. Yeah, exactly. Now for me, and this is just the way that I deal with situations. I've been married 21 years so far, and I early on I just took the attitude that I don't walk away from things that are you know done incorrectly as far as my relationship is concerned. I like to address it at the time that it happens. Now, because of the fact that we are at a restaurant or wherever we are and we're a couple, you know, uh, yeah, I would have a little tact with that one. And I would, get to the car, possibly, on the drive home. Then that's when I would probably open up the discussion. But I'm not the type of person that will walk away because I'm angry. I'm not that type of person. Maybe in my youth, I possibly was that person at that time. But because I matured a little bit and got a little older, I learned that this is not the correct way for me. Let me just say for me to deal with the situation. Now, obviously, if you're involved in a situation that is definitely getting heated, you're not getting anywhere in the conversation. Um, Definitely, I would say sometimes a break may be needed in that circumstance. Doesn't necessarily mean walk away, because a lot of times, we can get very angry, us men. You see what I'm saying? And we may want to punch a wall. You see what I'm saying? But see, that's still an anger issue. You know, we can look at it as if, well, I didn't hit my wife, but I just hit the wall. But you're still displaying a violent attitude in response to the situation. When it could be dealt with in a different way. So where I don't really particularly deal with situations where me and my wife get into it or whatever, and I feel the need to get walk out the door, slam the door, get in my car, and go to the pool hall and let off some steam. I just don't deal with things that way. But I know that there are people that do.
Um, oh no, I wasn't talking. For me, I don't do the walking away from. If there's a situation, I like to address it.
Mhm.
Um,
Exactly.
because I like to get
Wait a
to
minute.
the
I,
root
I
of the
think
problem.
I think
What happened?
Quabila is having a problem. Are you okay, Quabila? You're back.
Oh, she said she
Okay.
good.
But you're muted though. We can't hear you. We can't hear
No,
you.
she wanted to be muted. I
Oh,
think
okay,
she
got it.
intentionally muted herself. Yeah.
Oh, got it, got it.
So
Okay, go ahead, brother. Truth. I'm sorry, man.
no, you good. So I think she said that if it was my wife and she had a problem with the meal, is that correct?
So
What?
in this
Well, oh, go ahead.
in this scenario, it was a husband and wife, but say it was a lady or maybe some of your homeboys. They just attacked you without knowing your headspace. Um, and it was just
Oh,
really
okay.
uncalled for in that moment.
Okay, and they had a complaint about the meal.
About what you ate. Like they were minding your business.
Oh, they was upset at how much I ate. Were we sharing? Okay, so were we sharing the bill or
No,
some?
not necessarily.
They just had
Well,
just had.
basically, what it is, brother, is she is putting you in a place to feel inadequate because maybe you gained a few pounds, and so now she's discussing what you ate and your dessert. See, why did you even have the dessert? You need to lose some weight, brother. You know what I'm saying? So she's coming at you like that in the restaurant. Is that the correct
Hmm.
scenario, Corbila? Okay.
Oh, okay, okay. So in
But she's
that,
being quite rude about the way she's going about, telling you that.
all right. So in that instance, I don't. with all things, with all confrontations and everything like that, I don't, unless it's where it's about to get physical, I don't
Mm,
do the walking away thing. I
yes.
I want to address it to try to figure out like what's going on. The first thing I would probably ask is like, why are you speaking to me like that?
Mm,
Now and then and then I probably would say, well, I ate a lot because I enjoyed the meal. Is that a problem? Like, you know, trying to figure out the situation. And then once I seen that, you know, basically through the interaction and
mm,
probably the answers they gave me, that's when it probably would have went a little left, and I probably would have got upset then.
mm,
Because usually people certain answers, it depends on the answers people give me as to reason why they are disrespecting me.
mm.
So
Wow. And you know what? I can agree with what you said because I feel the same way. You know, if I was to allow myself to get in a place where I thought it could get physical, I definitely, gentlemen, walk away. I mean, that's just the point blank advice to anybody.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And so, but now this conversation that we're having, brothers, is basically concerning how do men deal with being hurt. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Basically, by women. How do we deal with that hurt that emotional hurt that we receive from women? You see what I'm saying? And this is basically, and how do we deal with that? How do we channel it? You know, I believe the article. Wait a minute, somebody's got a real bad echo. I believe the article that Kwabila is presenting. You know, it basically it talks about different ways and that men express their hurt, and one of the ways was through anger. Uh, I believe the article states that the majority of men express their hurt through being angry. Now I'm not sure if I agree with that all the time because I for one am an individual. And before I get to the angry place, I try to get an understanding because the angry place is ugly. Am I right, brother? True. You know what I'm saying? you know so basically,
yes,
how
sir.
do yeah how do we deal with the hurt? And also the article talks about different signs that a woman should recognize that her man is dealing with some hurt in his life, because we're not apt to express it all the time. You see what I'm saying? So Sister Kobila, I'll let you go ahead with the rest of that, but I thought I would just share that just to get us on track about where the conversation, what it's about. Oh, you're muted. You're muted,
Okay,
my
I'm
sister.
sorry. I apologize for the trouble. My phone was doing the most and nothing at the same time. So, y'all, thank you for bearing with me. So, in this particular article, so let me go back. The title of this article is When You Criticize and He Withdraws, This is What's Really Happening. It talks about a lot about men's anger. Men's anger comes from a variety of places. One, you're a man in society, and we're just going to stick to America. So I, as a woman, have no clue what you as a man face every day. You are expected to be the provider for the household. You're expected to go to work. You're expected to be the father if you have children,
Mm,
and an attentive, caring, loving father. You're engaging father. If you're
mm,
married, you are expected to be this dutiful, faithful, honest husband. While you're still
mm,
juggling all of the things that hit you as soon as you walk out your door. And more specifically, and this is not to put down any other ethnic group, but Black men, you all have a target on your front, back, side to side every
mm,
single day. Whether many men want to acknowledge that, you actually do. And so I can imagine going from home to your breakfast spot or coffee shop to work and back again, and then just dealing with the microaggressions at work, people treating you as if you are not adequate, and you got to come home to someone. And women, I'm not bashing us, I'm just pointing out some things that have been proven to be facts. You come
mm,
home and your home is not peaceful, your children are rowdy, your woman is rowdy, and like, what are you supposed to do? So I can
Mm.
imagine all of this builds up and boils, begins to boil. And so it often leads to anger. Sometimes anger is triggered by something in your past that has nothing to do with the person you're with or the people you hang around. However, something about these people and this person and people triggers that something within, and your anger starts to rise again. And so oftentimes men will withdraw. We talked about on the show with Damon Thomas how men would turn to alternative methods to ease their pain. Um, they would drink, do drugs, and
Mm.
get involved in sex. Just other things that can be detrimental to your health, your mind, body, and your soul. So that's the aspect that, I would like this conversation to go. I'm sorry, go. Excuse me. Um, so anyone can take over, pick up, kind of express like when you were in those moments of deep anger and you felt like no one understood you as a man. Like, how did that make you feel? This is not meant to be a therapy session. This is just meant to show other men that, okay, you are not alone in whatever you're dealing with. Other people feel
Mm.
similar to you. And this is how I coped in a healthy manner. So,
Well,
Well, and
go ahead.
oh, my fault. You was about to go?
No, no, I'll let you go. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I apologize. I didn't know. AQ, probably. So we won't keep bumping heads. Like, I guess, like, say which person you would
okay.
start with, so that way, because I didn't. I don't want to be rude. I'm sorry. Sorry, brother Baker.
Oh man, we're good.
Um, my answers is going to be different because there are two stages of my life.
Okay.
The stage where I didn't have Christ and the stage that I have Christ now. So previous times, when someone had offended me, made me upset, uh, my situation, my relationship, outside of the relationship, anything affected, I would go into what's called, one of my vices, and one of my vices were to, engage in sexual activity, and that's how basically I, cope with things. Found, I guess you would say, enjoyment for a temporary time, satisfaction. I later learned that it was because I had a longing for a woman's love, and because of
Mm.
abandonment issues with my mother, because she was always working.
Mm.
And that later played a part in relationship wise until I was able to actually get some healing with that. Now, outside, we all go through things, but I don't allow, let's say me and you are, we're hanging out, and let's say I just got finished, I'm having a rough day at the job. I now know how to do what's called compartmentalize, where I leave that with the job, and whatever we're doing, we're fine, and you will never even know.
Alrighty. Thank you for sharing that. And that sounds like a lot of men's testimony, but again, I'm the lady. I'm gonna step back. Mr. Tommy, you go.
Well, I appreciate that. So, what I wanted to share is that in my moments of anger, I found that the reason why I was vehemently angry because I didn't know. And most of the time, we find frustrations in situations because we're out of control. We don't know how to manipulate the situation or grasp the
Mm.
whole concept of the situation. So therefore, the first thing to do is show a level of anger or some form of wrath. Um,
Mm.
so I didn't know how to, one. Let me just use me for instance, how to be a husband. Yeah, I've been married for 13 years, but the first 5 I was frustrated because I did not get a prerequisite before going through
Like many of us, right?
exactly. And so we learning through trial and error, so it's frustrating. So therefore, you see the rate of divorce happen,
Mm,
or infidelity takes place, or whatever the case may be, because we didn't get the prereqs, before going into it. And I'm talking about thoroughly, not just a biblical counseling or anything like that. I need somebody to sit me down and give me hard cold facts, and I need to see it proven
mm,
through your life, and so on and so forth. But again, for me, I'm speaking for me now. I had absence of father, so therefore I didn't have that example or someone to pull me aside and say, "Son, you're gonna run into this. You're gonna run into this, and this." I had nothing to look to, whether in Christ or out of Christ. I didn't have anything to look to in a physical sense to help me. Now, it's by the grace of God we still together, but it's a lot of head bumping that took place.
mm.
And then here comes the kids. Another thing, we wasn't given a prerequisite on how to raise kids. So what do you go through? You go through frustration and so on and so forth, and you get angry. You want to run out the house because every time they cry and whine, you're not ready for those things. So what I'm saying is that we need a moment of understanding what we're getting into. So that's why I get frustrated in most cases. But now I'm 38. I've been through a lot. Not saying that I won't get frustrated up the road or get angry, but it's harnessed better now. Let me say that.
Mm.
Because I've been through a trial and error. Now I got a son. Now I got 2 daughters, and I'm in their life, so they don't have to go through the woes that I went through becoming, the man that I am now.
All right, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And hopefully other men are, taking heed to the things that you all are saying and will try to apply them to your life, to their life. I want to say what's up. I'm sorry if this is a repeat, but hello to the chat, the comment section. Wally Big Rick Slabs, um, Terry Taylor, good friend of mine. He says, "Thank you for making this needed dialogue happen." Q, thank you very much. He's like, mentorship is not a focal point as it used to be. A lot of men don't have older men who can take them under their wing and help them through those situations. Um, Definitely. Um, Terry also says a lot of men haven't learned how to process emotional distress without physical responses. And that's another thing the article addresses. Great topic, and a topic that is discussed enough. Thank you very much. And I can't forget my lovely Princess K. Hey, girl. All right, so getting back to the conversation, Mr. Vaughn, do you have something that you would like to add to that?
Well, I would like to add this. When it comes to the issue of anger, this is something that we really have to manage, definitely as men, and it is kind of hard to manage anger when you really, like my brother said, you didn't have the prerequisites, you didn't have the examples, you didn't have the teaching. I grew up without a father as well. You know what I'm saying? But anger is something that we definitely is an issue as far as men is concerned, and when it comes to our women, it's something that we need to learn how to master, probably before we enter into relationships. Now anger is not always a bad thing. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Sometimes we take a word and we weaponize it and make it so negative. But to be angry is not a bad thing. It's how you deal with the anger.
Yeah,
Even the scripture talks about, you can be angry, but just don't sin.
don't
You
sin.
see what I'm saying? Don't sin. Now, for instance, I'll give an example of me not challenging anger properly, or us men not channeling our anger properly. Okay, is when we don't really recognize what our triggers are. Number one, we need to be in tune with what these triggers are. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And as you name them one by one, because we know what the triggers are. Some of us don't, but many of us do. And this is how I was able to overcome my anger issues, was to understand each trigger, how to deal with that, this and the other. You see what I'm saying? So without really looking at it and dealing with the situation with the triggers, because that's what it's all about. You know, she called you a bitch ass nigga, and see now that, hey, come on, that took you all the way there, right? Now you know you don't want to put your hands on her, but it's so built up on the inside to where, well, you just punched a hole in the wall. You felt good about it because at least I didn't punch her in the face. But see, at the same time, you see what I'm saying? There's still a dysfunction there because you dealt with the anger with violence. Whether it was a tree, whether it was a chair that you threw, whether it was a lamp that you picked up and threw it against the wall. You see what I'm saying? And so we need to learn how to master when we do become angry. You know what I'm saying? And hey, listen, that comes through a lot of trial and tribulation. You know, learning how to do that. It doesn't come as easy for some as it does for others, you know, but recognizing it is the beginning of change. Unless you recognize that there's an issue. See what I'm saying? You can't work toward change, you know? So yeah, I've been married 21 years. Has my wife ever pissed me off? Damn right she has. Have I ever pissed her off? Of course. See what I'm saying? You know, but we learned in the beginning of our relationship, we were like, you know, it was new to us. We were like children because we're learning how to be in that relationship. As we matured more in the relationship, we didn't have as many silly, frivolous arguments. You see what I'm saying? You know, so, I mean, you know, time brings upon experience, you know, and experience brings upon change. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But this is this is a great topic tonight because, you know, the anger issue with us men, when it comes to our women, it's a serious thing, man. And I believe that a lot of, and basically this conversation is to help the women understand what we're going through when we get in these modes of frustration, anger. See what I'm saying? Yeah, depression. You know, and sometimes it's based upon our partner, how our partner is relating to us can cause us to go through all of these different types of changes. So I just wanted to say that a little bit, and I'll let my brother Truth. I'm glad to be on the panel with you tonight, my brother. I haven't been able to talk to my brother in a while. It's good to be on here with you, man.
Yeah, we could definitely got a lot of you know, catching up to do. You know,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
for so many other things as you already know. So, but actually, this is the topic that we're discussing is actually I find it very ironic, and it's needed. It really is needed because, you know, now you brought up the situations about relationship wise, and in relationships, you can't. I remember y'all brought up the thing called standards and boundaries. I remember y'all had a conversation on here a while ago about that.
Yes, setting boundaries.
Yes, usually that's where my anger kicks in at, is because when I've expressed what my standard is, what my boundary is, and then you blatantly cross it for the sake of it to see how far you can push and how much I will allow. And that type of disrespect, because again, it's like I'm like, why? That lights a fire. And again, one thing I have to work on, and I've openly admitted this so many times. The key thing, like he said, the word says, be angry, but sin not. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be disgusted by something, but you don't sin. The problem is, I still have this flesh, and I have sinned. Now, it does take me a while to get there, but the problem is sometimes we have people that do not take the signs. Even when you say stop, they will keep
Mm.
going.
Mm.
And
Wow.
the way I've been able to eliminate that part is I usually, once I spot that you are that individual early, I do not, because I know myself, I do not basically involve myself with you because I know that I haven't to the point where I can just deal with people blatantly and willfully and directly disrespecting me. Now, if I did something to warrant it, then the anger it usually don't show up because at least I understand I did something to cause this, and it's something if I correct, then probably they won't disrespect. I have fully matured in that manner to the point where I don't go around disrespecting people. I just don't. I don't look forward to doing that. But a lot of people don't understand what disrespect actually is. They like to cling it to a word, cling it to some type of gesture or behavior. Disrespect is anything that is rude and that a person finds rude and offensive to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you're supposed to get to know someone in all different type of relationships, business, personal, and intimate, and otherwise. You're supposed to get to know the individual you're involved with to make sure that you do not disrespect them because their perception is their reality. Whatever their POV is their reference point. So that's why we got to take the time to say not about me. Let me get to know where this person line is. And that usually comes with deference, decorum, love, and respect.
Y'all better come on me in with this conversation. All right now. Thank y'all. So I want to bring up this other point. We talked about, I'll touch on a little bit about hurt. Um, and I try not to make this about women directly, but I want to say this in a very loving way. So, ladies, hear me. If we say we want a man in our life, we have allowed a man to enter into our space, into our heart. We have to learn how to meet him where he is and grow together. We have to learn them. We have to learn when they open up. And let me start there. Because men don't open up a lot. They try to keep everything suppressed. They try to deal with it on their own. Well, eventually that stuff is going to rise up and come out. We have to be a softer, peaceful place for them. If we're constantly giving them what the world is giving them, I mean, what do you expect? He's basically a ticking time bomb. Again, I'm not saying you have to be a doormat and bow down to a man in that manner. All I'm saying is give him a little bit of space and a little bit of grace and let him come to you. Allow him to be. Allow this man to deal with what he's dealing with in the way that's necessary for him so that he can be the man he needs to be for you. The article talks about um, men are often made to feel like they're inadequate, they failed. Some women tell men, just grow up. Like, these are hurtful words. Words can hurt. Even though some people say, oh, words don't hurt, they just roll off my back. If you keep saying the same thing or same negative types of things over and over, eventually they're going to plant a seed and sprout a root. And that root is eventually going to continue to grow. I'm not saying this from off the top of my head, these things I know. And that's why I try to be very mindful of how I speak to my son, how I've always spoken to my son since he was little. And even now, I try to still speak positivity in life into him at 25. Okay, the article also talks about withdrawal. So I want to ask you, gentlemen, about withdrawal. Has there been a time when you were angry, rightfully so angry, at your wife, girlfriend, or just society, and you chose to withdraw versus really going into your natural instincts? And then did you feel better? Did you feel less of a person? Like, help people especially women, help us understand what withdrawal does for you all. And start with Mr. True.
Okay, so you're saying,
Withdrawal as a way to handle your anger.
okay. For me, okay, so for me, I really don't kind of do that. Like I
Okay.
said, unless it's to the point where I think I'm about to get physical. Like that's the only. So that's why that very rarely happens to the point. Even if I'm, upset, using bad language, yelling, it take it takes me time to get there, and then it will have to take me time to actually get physical.
Okay.
So if I sense that I'm about to get physical, then yes, I will withdraw. That's how you know. Then, like, if I'm leaving, then that means it's I usually become silent then, and then yeah, I have to leave to the point where, because it could get physical.
Okay.
Majority of the time, I find, because a lot of times people use withdrawing as a way to be very sarcastic and nonchalant and dismissive.
Okay.
So it depends. It really depends on does the person have respect for the conversation that they're retreating to come back to it, or are they using this as a form of communication for the
Okay.
conversation?
You know, and I'm let Mr. Vaughn go, and then I want y'all to consider this or answer this if you can. Have you ever withdrawn or told your lady, I need about a day or two away from this house, away from you? I'm not leaving the relationship, but I need to be away, so that I can come back and be a better version. Like,
I'm just going to answer that real quick. No, I have never
okay.
done that.
Okay. Alrighty then. Mr. Vaughn.
Oh, I thought my brother said he wanted to answer it real quick.
He did. He said no, he doesn't
Oh,
leave the house or leave the,
oh,
Yeah,
that
I
was
don't.
that,
I don't.
look, that was real quick, right?
Yeah, I don't. I don't do that. No.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So as for me, I've just learned down through the years that that's just not a way for me to handle and deal with my relationship with my wife. You know, I wouldn't appreciate it if she got up abruptly and walked away from a conversation and slammed the door and got in the car and drove away. And neither would she appreciate it if I did the same. So what we are at this point is we're left with each other. So let's sit down. You see what I'm saying? There's no need to yell and scream because we're sitting right across from each other. You see what I mean? Now, will the conversation get heated? Yeah, sometimes. But see, at the same time, I learn what her triggers are. See, and I'm able to get a point through to her because I know how to bypass her triggers. And as well as she does when it comes to me. Certain things are going to blow me up. You know what I'm saying? And she stays away from those things. And so it is with her as well. You see what I'm saying? You see? So I'm not going to call her out her name and say, bitch, what did you say? No, I'm not going to do that. Because she doesn't tolerate that type of disrespect, and I don't blame her.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So no matter what mode that I'm in, no matter how angry I become, I have to calm it down and figure out how to discuss my way through it, and that is a temperament that is very, man, it took a long time for me to get there, ladies and gentlemen. This is not something that you can become overnight. Maybe for some people, but I've had to make many, many mistakes, but even in the relationship and the commitment that I have with my wife, and it's not perfect. So don't get that idea. We can argue about the weather if we feel like it. See what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But because sometimes you're together so much that you irritate each other.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so, like, when you ask that question about, Hey, I just need 2 or 3 days away from you. No. We're gonna ride this till the wheels fall off. That's what we're doing. You see, and so that, I don't see me trying to get away from her because she disgusts me or she bothers me or I don't like her. If I'm getting away for those reasons, then hey, I may walk into some stuff that I wasn't unprepared for when I go out the door. See what I'm saying? I could put myself in
Correct.
quote unquote harm's way.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And this does happen in relationships. So that's the trick of the enemy, is to tell you to run from the conversation, run from the confrontation, run from the situation. No, you have to stand and deal with it. You see?
Okay.
And sometimes you have to say, well, you know what? Listen, looks like we're not getting anywhere with this conversation. And it could be it could be part of my fault as to why this conversation is going the way that it is. But I think a healthy thing for us to do right now is to just put it on hold for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Go drink some water, go to the bathroom, come back. See what I'm saying? Pick your nose, whatever you got to do.
Okay.
And then let's come back and approach it again. And not just leave, but pray when you leave. See, now that's a whole nother aspect of a relationship that many of us, don't tap into. And we wonder why it is so topsy-turvy. You see what I'm saying? Because we're unmatched. We're unmatched oftentimes, And just because you're Christian doesn't mean that you're perfect. Come on, we all have our faults and our flaws, But hey, man, God knows I do. You see what I'm saying? And listen, like I tell people, they laugh at it, but I think I have a strange feeling that, my wife has a nickname for me, and it's asshole.
Really?
Because you know what? Sometimes I may get on her nerves. Come on. Now, she would never say it to me like that, but I'm making light. I'm making a joke. You see what I'm saying? But that spirit of that type of attitude where you're not being right at the moment.
Yeah.
You kind of up into yourself right now, sir. You see what I'm saying? You're being a bit of the a-hole right now. And we all have that tendency to get in that place, and sometimes people have to call it out and say, come on, you're taking it too far,
Okay.
But the ability to listen, to hear the correction from my wife. Now, a lot of us, we have a problem with that aspect. Sometimes she could be giving me good information because I'm so cockeyed, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could misconstrue the message that she's trying to give me because I'm caught up in my anger.
Okay.
So yeah, but like I would say, and hopefully I made sense. I know I was all over the place, but
No, it's okay.
but as far as the anger thing is concerned, I tread lightly upon that issue right there because I don't want it to get out of control. Because although people don't understand what it looks like, I know what it looks like when it's out of control. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think my wife has ever seen me angry to the point that I know that I could be.
Oh.
You see? Yeah,
good thing.
exactly.
Exactly.
I don't even believe that she knows. You see what I'm saying? Because I've learned how to channel it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
People, because of where they be at, they try to gauge your level of disdain or how bad your anger can get.
Okay.
So a lot of people, like for instance, there's been a couple times on here people thought I was angry, but I wasn't.
Okay.
They hear the level of my volume, the assertiveness. They hear the fervent, tone come up, so they think anger automatically. And no, I'm just, basically stating myself. Basically, what's the right word? I can't think of the right word, but it's not anger.
Okay.
That's why I said when I get there, just like Brother Ron said, when I get there, usually I have to walk away because now it becomes volatile and dangerous. That's a whole nother level. And that's why I said I have worked by allowing myself to be humbled by Christ enough that very I can't even think of the time I got that part. It's
Okay.
been a while since I got there. So, and once I know that, that means I'm not displaying one of the fruits of the spirit, which is self control.
Okay.
I'm out of it.
Alrighty.
That's a good word that my brother just used. Man, you know what? That word that he just used just now in this conversation is a key point, and it's called self-control. And a lot of us, we're still working on it. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We're good at it to a certain extent, but if you push that button, see what I'm saying? Now, how come we haven't mastered that button? You know, if we're good at all of the rest of them, then we need to master that button. How do we master it? What do we do? How do we do it? Because people are going to continue to be who they are, regardless to what you're trying to
That's the
be.
conundrum right there, brother.
And one thing you
That's it.
said, brother, that I have to agree with these young ladies, and I've seen it, with relationships prior to my wife. Okay, and thank God that she doesn't do this, but I absolutely identify with what this brother said. I want to just push you to see how far you're gonna go. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And that for a female to do that, for a woman to do that to you, you see what I mean? She's playing games right there.
There's something broken
Because
in her.
you're playing mental games. I just want to see how far. Okay, well, he didn't get mad when I did this. Okay, and they talk to their girlfriends. Well, girl, let me try this. See, she tried that. Ooh, wait a minute, that didn't work. Okay, wait, what else can I come up with? Why are you trying to do that? I've been in relationships like that.
I
Just
think
crazy.
from a female point of view, one, they're immature, and or two, they have some broken pieces within them, and
Mhm.
they they
Mm,
thrive off of chaos. Why? I
mm.
don't know. That's not my life, not my ministry. I don't like chaos in the least bit. But unfortunately, there are some women, again, who are broken and have a lot of unhealed pieces,
Mm.
um, and unsettled issues, and they want to just spew that wherever they are, and whoever's in close proximity is unfortunately collateral damage. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe that some of these young ladies are being coached with that type of behavior. You know, oh girl, you need to figure out if he's abusive or not. You need to tap this button and that button and this button and
Yes.
listen, all these buttons. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Why don't you just be a good person?
Yes.
That's all it takes. We ain't
That
trying to
is the
come at you
million
like
dollar
that.
question.
Yeah, just
That
be
is
a good person. Just be a good person. It's not too hard for a brother to get with you when you're a good person.
It's
But when you
not.
got all these games and schemes and themes, and man, come on, it's an issue. It's an issue. And that anger management, man, let me tell you, just like my brother, I appreciate his transparency right now, because we all have our boiling points. We all have our pressure points, you know, and we would be not telling the truth if we say that we didn't. Just so happens, thank God for my wife, as far as I'm concerned, because she doesn't take me through all of that. You
Okay.
see, not that I haven't been through it. I've gotten to a place. I was in one relationship where I took the young lady's clothes and just start throwing them in the driveway.
No.
Get the hell out of here. Period.
Oh, goodness.
Listen. I look back on that young man and say, "Wow, you put yourself in that position, and look what happened." If I would have known what I know now, then, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I had to come to my recognizance and say, stop throwing the clothes, stop throwing the stuff out. Go out there and pick it up, calm yourself down, and figure out, at the same point, still have her to leave.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You can still leave, but I just ain't got to do it that way.
Yes.
Correct.
You know what I'm
Lord.
saying? But you live and you learn, and one thing that I say, that I've learned down through the years, as far as being married is concerned, and prior to that, picking and deciding who my wife would be, I always would go after a person. Even when I was younger, I would always go after a no nonsense type of woman, because I didn't want a pushover type of girl. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I didn't want her just to say yes, and I didn't want her to do that. I wanted her to be the type of woman to say, hey, listen, I'm cleaning up this house. You need to pick these socks up. I'm not gonna keep cleaning up after you like this. I don't mind doing it, but come on, you're gonna have to do your part. Respectfully. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a problem with standing up and speaking for herself. And so to me, that puts me in a place of the acknowledgement that this is not a type of pushover woman. And if I want to maintain and keep her, I'm gonna have to deal with her accordingly. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I just can't call her out her name and expect her to stay here. Hello. I just can't, tip out on her every other Wednesday and expect her to stay here. See what I'm saying? I can't yell at her, and my tone can't be improper with her on a continual basis and expect her to stay here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go over these last 2 points, and these are directed to women. And even though I, again, try to stay away from, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not bashing, I'm hopefully educating and opening your mind up to think in a different way, especially those that want to be married, are married, in a relationship, want to be in a relationship. If you want a man in your life, here are some things, ladies, that we need to take into account. Be sensitive to what causes your husband pain or your man pain. There are things that he has endured since before he met you. There are things he may be working through. Everyone is never going to be 100% healed. However, as we're going through our healing processes, we feel like, okay, we're in a good place where we can share our life with someone. We're pretty settled in who we are. And so, but still, that pain is there. Those wounds or those scars from those wounds are there. Some things just take longer to heal. They may never heal. So one, don't ever tell someone just get over it when you're going to be over it. That's inconsiderate and disrespectful to tell someone when you're going to get over it. You need to just get over it already. It doesn't work like that. They may be seeking counseling. You don't know. But if you don't ask and you're not sensitive and considerate, you will never know. Just how you don't want your husband or man to treat you a certain way, he doesn't want to be treated a certain way either. You want your man to listen to you. Ladies, he wants you to listen to him. No, he's not going to talk exactly like how you talk. Because women, we can hit the ground running and talk 24/7, like nonstop, like a motorboat. However, men are going to approach it a little bit differently. And we just have to be conscientious of their style, So, yes, take that into consideration and give him room to be a human. Again, Truth had mentioned earlier how while we are spiritual beings, we are Christians, those of us that, or whatever other religion you practice, we're still fleshly bodies and we still deal with earthly matters. And so we are human beings that deal with stuff that our spirit can't always combat like right away. So again, give him space. I like to tell people, give people grace. The same way you want grace and understanding for your stuff, this is not just for women. The same way you want grace and space, give another person grace and space as well. Be understanding, compassionate, empathetic. You might not be sympathetic, meaning you didn't go through exactly what they've gone through, but you can be empathetic, meaning you have a certain level of understanding of the feelings and emotions of what they're dealing with. So, men, would you like to respond on that in any way?
No, I would just say that, what you said was pretty much on point. Be attentive, be mindful, be aware, as to how you treat this brother that's trying to take care of you and protect you and all these other things. You see, so and get to know him. That part right there. We're in these relationships for years and years, and then we discover we don't even really know each other. Wow, what a waste of time.
Yeah, unfortunately, I spent 10 years,
Man.
well, look, 13 years married, but 10 years actually together. And I hate to say wasted, but in a sense, wasted 10 years. However, though, I did learn something while I was in that space. And so everything that I speak on now are things that I learned while I was married. I didn't do everything just right. As Tommy mentioned earlier, I didn't have a book, a cliff notes or anything to say, this is how to be a wife. My family, the ladies in my family didn't teach me how to be a wife. The elders in my church, they didn't teach me. And, there were classes and, devotion. There wasn't women's groups. This is how you be a Christian wife, how you be a good wife, how So I had to learn on the fly, in essence. I learned by watching other people that I admired. However, you cannot, please hear me out, never judge another person's relationship because you see the glory on the outside, but you do not know the story. You don't know the tears, the prayers, the split ups, the fights, the nothing. You don't know nothing about what happened on the inside. And in all them years they've been married, you see the glory on the outside, what they show you at church, what they show you in the street. Don't let that fool you. Every marriage is unique. So, for the sake of, argument, if you gentlemen were to put together a to-do book, a what men wish women knew about men, let's just say, let's try a list of 10. See if y'all can come up with 10 things.
Oh, wow.
And this is not just about anger. This can run the gambit of what men wish women knew. 1 through 10. If you were putting together a book, a brochure, or something, a seminar.
Well, I would say one. I would say one real quick, and that's that we're human.
Okay.
We're human beings. We're human.
Right,
I don't need to give a long thing on that, but we're human. That's one thing.
So let me get my notebook. I like to write.
So that's number one, that we're human. The same grace that the world that the same grace the world gives to women, sadly we do not get that type of grace, but we would like it. Mm-hmm. We would like to have grace for when we fail. We would like to have grace when we're not our best mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. So yes, that we're human. So that's number one. The 4 needs of a man. There are four main needs of a man. The number one, and it's in this very order. Number one is honor and respect.
Okay.
The number 2, yes, and this is why this is such a big thing, sex.
Okay.
Number 3, we want
our
woman to be our best friend. Companionship. Believe it or not. See, society is now created where it's supposed to be bros over, you know what, and guys leaving their girl to hang out, with their boys, and so on and so forth. Yes, men need masculine energy transference. But back in the day when relationships were healthy, guys used to say, "Man, I'm going home to my woman. Like, I don't hang out with y'all all day. Like, I want to go home and have some fun with my woman." And also, that's the one that I can tell my fears, what makes me cry and all those type of things, because back in healthy relationships, you know, a woman had that motherly love. Like, how back in the day a boy could go and lay his head on his mother's lap, she would rub her head.
Mm-hmm.
Women that have that motherly love, they will do the same thing to their husbands and let him know that it's okay. He's okay, and he's still their hero. He's still the man, and he's still respected, even if he fails, even if he falters. So that companionship, that best friend, we want that. That's the third need, and then of course a domesticated lifestyle, a house of peace, a house that's kept, food, nurturing,
Mm.
that type of lifestyle.
Okay.
Uh, and then also we want to be loved unconditionally.
Now that one, I've heard a lot of men talk about that unconditional part. It just
Yeah,
seemed like it doesn't happen for y'all.
yeah. And sad to say, and a
Mm.
lot of females like to combat this, but it doesn't, because if we do anything wrong, and I'm not, and this is the thing, I'm not a preponderant of being participating in infidelity, lying, abuse, any of those type of things. I'm talking about the regular senses of, okay, if I just caused this man to get angry, then I'm not going to hold it against him. Yes, he was wrong for the way he responded, but I'm going to be aware that I'm the one that got him there, and I'm going to
Okay.
forgive him just like I want him to forgive me.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
forgiveness is another one.
Okay.
Um,
Mm.
uh, Cooperation in all forms, whether it's business, or personal or intimate. Um, and because what is that? Eight,
No,
nine?
that was number 6.
That was
So,
six.
so one was we're human. 2 is allow the same grace given to women. And then 3, 4 needs of a man. Or were those supposed to all be separate?
Well, we could listen. We could leave that at six.
Okay. Well, then 4
Brother
was
Brian,
love.
you got any four? Oh, you
4 was
got
love unconditionally.
uh
5 forgiveness. 6 cooperation in all forms.
okay. Brother Brian, you
Want to add to the list?
yes,
Well,
I
I
needed
guess
that help.
I'm going to try to add to that list just a little bit. I would definitely say something that should definitely be on the table is communication.
Mm,
You know,
you got to
that lack of
capitalize.
that lack of communication leads to a lot of separatism and all kind of
Yes,
things that could get all up into your relationship because you're really not informed about where each other are coming from. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would definitely say communication. You know what I'm saying? And understanding. That I guess those two could go together. I don't know if you could put that in one category.
We're gonna put them in separate because
Yeah, be willing to understand where a person is coming from. Before you just blatantly just judge them
okay,
because your mind is made up. The situation is going this way. You know, have a little understanding.
okay.
Yeah, and then since I just said that, and this other one is very important. And try a little tenderness.
I was just thinking about that song.
Now listen. Okay, try a little tenderness. Don't walk around mean mugging all the time. With that passive aggressive spirit, and then somebody, well, what's the matter? Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm fine.
Yeah.
yes,
See what I'm saying? But wait a minute. But you don't look fine. You just, no, everything's okay. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Try a little tenderness. Smile. My God.
yes.
It's okay to smile.
And I had said the one. I said another one that you can add earlier about the, purposely um, crossing boundaries.
Mm.
That is one, and that is a big question. Like, why do we have to do that? It's one thing to accidentally, it's one to work on things that because you're growing together, so you make mistakes. But when someone says, like, make it clear that please don't do that, that hurts me, that bothers me. I find that disrespectful. Selfishness should automatically be placed out that to the point where you say, okay, I'm here inside of a relationship, so now I need to sacrifice what I want. The key word is I for what we, our, us is trying to accomplish.
Yes.
Mm.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Well, this is
That's
all
a
good
whole other
stuff.
conversation. Like,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is all good stuff right here. This is
Mm-hmm.
all good stuff.
Yes,
yes, if it wouldn't get too heated, we definitely could do a relationship conversation
I would
because
love to.
as a woman, I know I have some flaws. I got some characteristics about myself that
Mhm.
can be worked on because I can be a bit stubborn. There were times when my husband and I would have a disagreement. Now, we never argued as far as yelling at each other. Things never got to that level, but we had some disagreements. And when I got to a place where I didn't want to talk about it, it could be just me being immature, me not want to be held
Mhm.
accountable, whatever the case. I literally was shut down. I would sit on the couch like this.
That's the one.
And he's like, "Do you hear me talking to you?" Yeah.
Mm.
Can you say something? I don't want to. And I know
Mm.
that was not, like I would,
Yeah,
or I would get up and go in the bedroom, or
that
he would
silent
get
treatment,
like,
huh?
I just don't want to talk about it right now. But he wants to handle it now.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
so we had moments like that. Now we also had those
yeah.
moments, you know, this may help someone else. I don't know. But we had those moments where, okay, he was a truck driver and he took the opportunity of not coming home some weekends because he said, I just don't want to come home. I don't want to deal with whatever. I'm like, I'm
Mm.
not going to do whatever. Well, I just don't want to deal with it. And so,
I don't agree with. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would never
listen.
do
Yeah,
that. I don't agree
yeah.
with that.
I,
Yeah,
I agree with Brother Truth. Listen, I have to come home. And as far as this go sleep on the couch
yes,
stuff,
I'm
no,
always gonna come.
when they say go sleep on the couch, no, I'm
I'm
not.
not trying to do that either.
I
Nope.
ain't trying to sleep on no couch now. And you're not gonna sleep on the couch either. So hold
oh
up, what we
Lord.
doing in here? We both pay for this bed. We gonna both lay in it. Now, if we have an issue, let's go sit up and deal with it so that
It's
we
a
can lay
verse in
down
the
together.
Bible. It's a verse in the Bible that says, "Do not
Let the
let the
sun
sun go
go
down
down. There you
Oh,
go,
you're
brother.
right. Okay.
on your wrath, because it will give
It's
place to the devil. It will allow him to
yeah.
get a foothold."
There you
And
go.
I
There you
actually
go.
believe that, and
I
it
truly
actually
believe
have
it.
shown that that
Mm-hmm.
very thing will happen. So
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah.
like dealing with the situation. Let's fix it
Let's
because it
fix
can be
it.
fixed. Let's
Yeah.
deal with it, get it out the way, because we don't got time to give place to the enemy.
Mm.
That's
Now,
right.
like my brother said prior, like Truth said prior, hey, if he feels like he is really out of pocket and his temper is like on 11.5 and he's having an issue with trying to hone that thing in, then he may have to walk away for a minute. So I get that. I get that part. You see what I'm saying? But see, now here's my thing about that though, because that does occur. My thing with me is I wanted to get to a place where I didn't allow myself to go there like that.
Correct. There it
Yeah.
is.
But if you have the wrong woman, it may be a little bit more difficult to accomplish that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's where we
You
women need to take accountability and say, do I
Yeah,
really want a man or do I want a boy? Do I want another child in my life? Like, do
yeah.
I want someone that I can control? Because
Mm,
why would you want to do that anyway? But it's like we as women have to question our reasoning for wanting a
mm,
man in our life. I want and need a man. Like, I'll never be the one to say I don't need a man. Yeah, I might can change a light bulb. I might could do certain things, but I don't want to. And I don't
you
need a
know.
man just for
And then
that.
and then
But
you have these women who want this particular lifestyle. And when the man has to go and break his neck just about to provide that,
No.
You complain that, well, you're always at work, you never have time for me. Well, hold on. How are we gonna pay for all this? You're not working, you're at home taking care of the household and the kids. That's good, that's fine. But at the same time, if we're going to maintain this, I may need a second job, which is going to take my time. So you have to, the woman has to be in a place to understand sometimes,
Yeah.
and not be so entitled. You know what I'm saying? Roll with the punches, go with the flow, move with the movement.
That's the big word, entitlement.
Yeah. Entitled.
It's a
Right.
spirit. It's a spirit going on right now where that's running rampant in men and women. Entitlement.
Yes. Right quick, I want to recognize Mr. Marcus. How you doing, Marcus?
How are you, Cuba? How you
All
doing?
right. All right. Thank you for always holding down in the comments section. You've got something you want to add to this conversation as a man?
Oh, first of all, how's everybody doing? And shout out to QB, shout out to Vaughn and True.
What's
Greetings,
going
sir.
on?
Greetings,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I looked at the topic of the thumbnail. It says it has something to do with anger. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think a lot of us, we hold a certain in us, right? We call it in the basement, inside of us. We have like an anger, and I think we tend to bottle it up a lot of times. And I noticed it in these spaces and with individuals in real life. A lot of us, we let the anger fester, and it kind of festers and grows, kind of like a boiling point or a bomb, quote unquote, right? And we don't speak out loud before it gets to the point where it's to the point of no return, and we say things that are true that we might regret saying later or we don't regret, but deep down in the bottom of it is the truth between that anger. I think it's a better way of trying to say that, hey, we got to communicate, and don't let it build up, and don't hold it in. Like, just be honest about it, but also be aware that, hey, certain people aren't going to be able to handle what you say as honesty in order to avoid that set forward anger explosion. So I'm just saying that because of the fact that I've seen it with my family, with my parents, my brothers and sisters, friends, people that aren't here anymore, people that are still here, co-workers, and just people in the panel on these YouTube streets, or when I notice in the chat and stuff. And I've seen some things that it's in the internet, this space, even though there's a lot of people that fester and breathe into it and pay into it, it still kind of blows my mind that people sometimes get so invested and take sometimes things too serious, but then you also get to learn from people that some people do take certain things too serious and to a point because of the fact they care, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
And I don't want to like keep on going. I just want to make sure I cut it short. That I don't take much of you guys' time.
Oh, that's fine. You look. Tonight is about the men. If I see we have another lady joining us tonight, Miss Queen.
Shout out to Queen.
What's
Hey,
up?
Queen,
Hey,
what's
guys.
going on, Queen?
Hi, Vaughn.
How are
What's
you?
up, Marcus?
How you doing, Queen?
Intellectual Marcus Purpose. Please. Y'all all need to ask that name.
Intellectual Marcus Purpose. Man, he listen, Marcus is like a chameleon, man. He can conform, to
It's
whatever
full
space.
adapt.
Whatever
Adapt and
he's
survive.
he will adapt to whatever space he's in,
So, Miss Queen, did you want to add, since you are a wife, can you lend your perspective? What it's like to deal with your husband when he gets angry. Like, how do you deal? That's funny.
Oh wow, she found that amusing.
This is being recorded, right?
Igbo stop with that.
We
You're
are
on
live.
national
Let me start
television.
with that. No. The one thing I've realized from being married almost 13 years is I can't match it. I can't fix it.
Okay.
And I can't solve it. I shouldn't have any answers for it. I shouldn't give an alternative solution. I should just sit quietly, drink my water, and mind my business.
Okay.
Because then the anger can be projected down to the wrong target.
Okay.
So when I come like, fix it queen, like, oh no, honey, you should feel this, honey, you should no, don't worry about that, and I don't allow him the space to just feel what he feels, because I know where his anger can go,
Okay.
and I don't like for him to go there. But sometimes he has to, that's his journey. It's not mine, So yeah. So it's hard. It's hard because you want to, women, we want to fix it. We want to massage that knot out their back and calm it down, but there's a time and place for everything. So even in 12 years, I'm still learning. Maybe you shouldn't have said that. Maybe you should
but
just
I think
turn up
we
the
never
music a little louder. Let them sing, let them, like, just go in the other room, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the store and pick up some cereal, like, so yeah.
You create a space for him, right?
Yeah. Or no, he has a space. Just give him the space to process. And when he's ready to decompress and talk, 9 times out of 10, he'll come back and he'll talk about what he was feeling. I think we've learned that, like, because we were both like volcanoes, and it was like, oh, who you talking to? I know you ain't talking to me like that. Oh yeah, and that wasn't even what it was about. So
wow.
Me asserting myself, I make it about me. Why are you not going to talk to me? Because he don't want to,
Yeah.
So I make his feelings or what he's going through about me. Then I make myself the target and say, well, you don't care about me. Why won't you tell me how you doing? And and it's not that he doesn't want to. It's just he doesn't have the words, or he don't know what he's feeling. He's just in it. It's just kind of like why they say you have to be careful when you save a person who's drowning, because they can actually make you drown because they're panicking. Sometimes it's easier just to throw them that little inner tube and say, here, grab it. Because if they grab you, they can push you down and you die. Y'all both die.
True story.
What's up, Truth? I didn't say hi to you, big head brother.
How are
But
you?
anyway. So yeah. So I think I'm still learning that I don't like to see him upset.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's what's up. And I always have to throw this bit of history in there. Everyone, even though we didn't experience life in the 1800s and even probably the 1950s and beyond, up to that point, we have heard stories. We've seen, the articles and the evidence. And, Marcus, it's nothing to do with you. But Black men in particular have had to face so many oppositions. And so, yeah, there's some deep-seated things there. And even with, white men and men from other ethnicities, they've had to face a lot of pushback from wherever they were raised. Not everybody grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth. People had to struggle and strain and scratch just to reach any semblance of, a decent life. And so, yeah, every man has their own life experience, Black, white, or other. And society at all times will try to let you know you are a man. This is what is expected of you, not even taking into regard what you're actually dealing with. And again, that you are a human person with spiritual feelings, but your fleshly body, So Go ahead, whoever.
No, I said yes. I was agreeing.
So yeah. All right. So as we get ready to wrap up, I want each of you men to please, give any final words and share, some nuggets of knowledge with other men that may be listening still out there in the chat. Um, I'm sorry, I want to acknowledge Miss has to acknowledge Mr. Intellectual Soapbox. Without him, none of this would be possible. Thank you, sir. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know the sound. Sorry. I don't have sound. And to Mr. M3 from Knowledge and Relationships, thank you also for holding it down and keeping the comment section entertained and acknowledged for me. Thank you very much. But okay, gentlemen, we'll start with Marcus. Any final words you would like to leave to me? First of all, are you married, Marcus?
No.
In a relationship?
Yes.
Okay, well, share some things from a relationship perspective. Dealing with anger, dealing with emotions. What do you want other men to take from your experiences, and then what do you want women to know? However
Like
you
the
want to
advice
tackle
that I
that.
could give, the advice you're asking, the advice I should give men in case in a situation with
So
like anger.
either, yeah, give advice to men, from a relationship perspective. Tell women this is what you need to know about men. Just or any of your final thoughts. Anything you would like to say.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you and I appreciate Chill Soapbox. You as well, QB, Vaughn, Truth, and also Queen. Shout out
Yes,
to you on
sir.
everybody in the chat. I think just from growing, from seeing what I saw growing up as a kid to my own relationships, and specifically the more man and woman relationship, that dynamic. I think it's all about communications, patience, trust. Take the time to breathe and ask yourself, is this really worth something fighting for, or bringing a conversation about, or it's one of those things that you just let it go, or if it's something that you stand on where it's your limitation and your boundary, then stand on your limitation or boundary, and that's a way of respecting yourself, and hopefully the person can respect you and you can respect that person. I think that's something that maybe we tend to brush off a lot of times, without sounding like an echo chamber or a talking point. But I think that's important so you can move forward, push forward, don't push back. Like someone in this panel usually has taught others to say. But you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. And I want to say you can catch us on Sundays here on the Intellectual Soapbox for a sports section, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, make sure you leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. It helps the algorithm. And make sure you bless and make sure you pray for all these people. Make sure you wish the best for them. Make sure they're safe and protected. And I'm out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcus. Thank you. And we all start talking about football, and then I'll be back on the sports. Y'all talking about basketball other night, and I don't do basketball.
Oh, we were talking about everything, QB. So don't worry. We talk about all types of sports. So you're good. In case you guys questions, you want to come in. We always feel we love it when women come in to talk sports, because men like that, because it's like cool. We have one of the ladies that wants to come in and join in and add to the conversation. So don't ever feel shy. Don't feel shy.
Remember, you said you open invitations, though.
Welcome for everybody. No problem.
All right, Mr. Truth.
Yes. Thank everyone for the conversation. VB, QB, and yes, my bratty sister. Q forever. Appreciate that. And submit my dog 84. Intellectual Soapbox. Appreciate it. This is a great conversation. Actually, was more needed than anything, just as reproof for a man that's always encouraging himself to be better than what he was yesterday, to be a great man today. That's one of my prayers. I've been able to conquer a lot of things, a lot of vices, weaknesses that I found in myself, but this one is the one.
Okay.
This is the one, and it's not where it used to be, where it was, once again, one of the fruits of the spirit is self control. No, I am no longer out of control, but also, even though that is control, I have to still get to the point where I don't sin.
Okay.
And just saying that is kind of crazy at the point. I just got to get to the point where that continuously becomes more limited. Um, as far as the fruits of the spirit, in case if anyone doesn't know, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self control.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm, mm.
these things for us, those of in the faith, these things we want to master because these are the nine characteristics of Jesus Christ. And all believers want to have these things because these will make you effective and also successful in all forms of relationships, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Um, the boundary thing is very important because usually that's where anger gets placed, especially for me. Um, respect for me is given to everyone because I feel as though everyone should have common decency and respect towards all people. Just being generous, generosity, generous towards each other, acknowledgement. Just because we're human. Um, and when those boundaries and disrespect, I mean, when boundaries are crossed, that's where disrespect is at the door, and then that's where there's a chance for anger to take place. The
Mm-hmm.
best thing you can do is you need to be steadfast and unmovable to your standards and boundaries, regardless, even if you love the individual. You cannot allow them to cross that because it's in our innate nature, it's part of the iniquity package to always press the issue or see what we can get away with it. It's in all of us.
Yeah.
That's why we need things to civilize ourselves, such as boundaries.
Alrighty. Queen, would you like to add your last thoughts?
um, I just want to say, um, everyone, I feel like, needs to add to the tool belt of like coping skills and how
Um,
to deal with stress and different things that helps them to woosah and zen themselves down. Um, especially our emotions, because I know emotions can be a MF. They will hit you like nobody's business, and you just want to swing back.
yeah.
So I think it's very important to pay attention to, as a spouse, how someone, their body language and how they're responding or reacting, because it's not about me. That punch that came, it was for the air, it wasn't for me. It was for that invisible person. It wasn't meant for me. If I jump in the way, I'm gonna get hit and respond.
Yeah.
So for the spouse, give your spouse space. When you see they on one and they head turn red and they start spinning and the fangs come out, get them their favorite drink and just leave it on the counter and bounce out. Get them their favorite snack, put it, just slide it near them, you know, just and move out the way. So yeah. But I think men, I think that's why it's so important for men to have a safe place to disperse and let down and express their frustrations and their anger. Because when they don't, they are ticking time bombs. Can't no man tell me differently. We see it on here, we see it in life. What happened? I don't know. I blacked out. I snapped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Like you go from hugging me to calling me all kind of women in the street within seconds because you don't, that's displaced anger and frustration. And when you are emotionally immature and you were never taught how to display, how to deal with it, then you just become this ticking time bomb wherever you go. Somebody step on your shoe, boom, you ready to fight and flatten
Baby.
somebody out for no reason. So anyway, so yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Alrighty. Well,
Add
thank you
to your
so much.
tool belt of life.
Okay. Uh, we might have to do another show about putting together a toolbox, But yeah, I
Do you
like
see
those
the
kind of
videos I
conversations.
sent you?
Yeah. Oh God.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. We need to address that. All right. And last but most definitely not least, my co-hostess with the mostest.
Wow. We did it. Wow. I was so reluctant to try to have this conversation because I know a lot of times where it goes in many of these spaces when we try to talk about relationship things, and you know what I'm saying, and it's always the woman and the man, and and then we get off kilter with the conversation. But this has definitely proven to be a conversation that has been so insightful and enlightening, and I just appreciate the fact that we could have the conversation the way that we did. But I would like to give a closing remark, if I could.
Yes.
About this issue with men and their anger, and how we're dealing with our anger. How are we channeling our anger? There's a scripture that talks about, it says, the discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. Wow, did you hear that? I could read it one more time.
Please do.
It says, the discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. You see what I'm saying? When we have discretion, when we learn how to have discretion. And see, that's the issue. We don't know how to channel it. We're uninformed. And a lot of times we think we can do it on our own. See, this is why you have counseling. Even the Bible said that a wise man would seek counseling. Am I right?
Yes.
So it's okay if we're having anger issues. I punched the wall the other day. At least I didn't punch my wife. But nevertheless, listen, you punched the wall though. See what I'm saying? You threw the lamp. These are acts of violence. You haven't learned how to meter and control that anger that's on the inside of you.
Yes.
It's going to be very difficult to have a healthy relationship if we don't know how to master that within ourselves.
Yes.
So counseling is always a good idea. Listen, it's okay. Hey, they have anger management programs. And it doesn't mean that people think, well, I have to be sentenced to that program before I can be a part of it. No. The court system doesn't have to make you go do it. You can willfully say, hey, I have issues with anger. And I've been trying to deal with it on my own, but I don't know how to channel it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would suggest that, we should all strive as men to, when it comes to how we're dealing with our anger, is to learn how to master that. Learn how to master your temperament, because it's definitely possible. I'm presently doing it myself. You see what I'm saying? And it is possible to do. So yeah, I just want to leave that with that like that. And listen, Kwabila, God, thank you for having me up. And Queen, first time I think I'm on the panel with you, right? Or has it been a while?
It's been a while.
It's been a long time, right? Wow.
We've been on the panel before, but it was way more people. So I got lost in the sauce. But we
got lost in it. Both of us probably got lost in the sauce.
But my sprinkles is real tonight, so you ain't got no business but to notice me.
Yeah, but
So
see, I always enjoy you. When I see you on the scene, I always enjoy you. You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
I gotta,
But this
put
has
them in
been a
their place.
great this has been a great opportunity. I guess I should come out of my little shell of feeling
Yeah.
reluctant all the time. And thank you, Quabila, for putting me in that space. You see what I'm saying? You made me feel very comfortable to come and share. And for that, I thank you so much, my sister. Thank you.
But don't get it twisted. You see them nails, she'll put your eye out in the mirror.
I'll
She's
just
like, come here, let me see that.
yeah, because when I get angry, I don't say a word. I just, anyway, and I'm working on that. I'm a work in progress.
Well, if you ever want to do part 2, listen, I had looked up on my phone, which I thought would have really been a really good topic, but it was 33 signs that men exhibit when they're hurt.
We definitely need to do that.
And now I'll be honest with you. Now I don't agree with all of them, but
Okay.
but many of them are definitely on point. Definitely. Right. And
well, you check your schedule and you say when.
Yeah, so yeah, we can do a part 2 of this one, but I do think the anger thing is very important when it comes to relationships because, hey, sometimes the women don't know how to do that meter with the way that, like Queen said, hey, I know when to let it go. You see, some women don't know when to let it go. But if you actually know the man that you're with, you know when to let it go. You know what I'm saying? I hope that I heard her correctly, but I believe that's what she was saying.
Yeah, I think it's also is that I think I'm still learning, honestly, because I don't want to feel it. Then it becomes, when I assert myself, then it becomes, I don't want to lose this argument. I don't want to be punked. I don't, because I've made it about me now. So now all I can see is that if I don't say none, I'm letting this dude win. I'm letting him overtalk me. I'm letting it. And it really was, and I have a hard time admitting that because he always says, so you're going to admit that you were wrong? And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't constantly come. We're not talking about how I came at you. We're talking about you were wrong for inserting yourself in the first place. Because I always want to go, no, but you was wrong. Say you was wrong first, And I become like this little petty kid, and
it's a war of who was wrong first, right?
Exactly. You was wrong. It doesn't matter if I slapped you.
I can't do it,
down
man.
a hill. You plucked my hair. You shouldn't have plucked my hair.
Huh?
Man.
Oh Lord.
I ain't never had that. Pluck my hair.
Just listen, Jay. Just keep living, keep living, sir.
No, brother.
Just
brother,
keep on living.
I know what you mean. So we understand each other. Listen. I've always said this: when sisters fight among sisters, let them fight. I can't do nothing to stop that. That's a mess.
Yeah,
I've tried that.
It gets
one
messy,
time.
man. It gets
it
messy.
Didn't end too well. Well, I didn't get hit, so I'm fine with that. But I'm talking about the sisters particularly. I'm like, what a brother trying to do to stop a girl that he likes from beating up another girl that's his friend. That's crazy.
You
shouldn't get involved.
That's another
this is high
topic
school
now, bro.
High school, like junior year.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
It's different from college because by that time I wasn't hopping in nobody's business.
Yeah, but you got grown people now doing that. I mean,
yeah, but they need to learn.
Grown people.
They need to learn that they have the problem and they fix it, not us.
Yes. All right, Jay. So even though you came in later, I want to give you some time to share your thoughts about men in anger. How do you deal with it? Do you withdraw? Do you react? What are some of your coping mechanisms? And then just what are some things you wish women knew about men and when they're dealing with
But women would know.
Stop laughing.
Okay, let me say this before Don't worry, I'm gonna do the lady part last. Technically, ladies should go first, so I should bring up the ladies first. But I'm gonna do that for you. I'm gonna give you a little context on me first.
Okay.
But let me say this, ladies. When I do get to you, know that I'm not picking on you. Okay, I don't pick on anybody. I'm not a bully because I hate bullies. And if you're a bully, I hate you.
Oh,
So just know that. Not anybody here, sweetheart. You're fine. Y'all fine. You and Queen are cool. Because just what if I was a lady, it'd be a different story if you was bullying me. Because trust me, I will pull out hair.
Oh wow!
I would love to have that right. But all seriousness, what I use to cope with my anger, breathing exercises I learned from my counselors. When I was going through my anger, had an anger management phase, and it was a matter of the tea didn't come into play later when I got older. I realized how much that soothed me. But it was a matter of taking deep breaths first. I had those exercises first. That's what I would do. Just relax. And now somebody telling me to relax when I'm trying to relax, don't ever do that. That will set me. I give everybody a tip. You telling me that will definitely piss me off. Now that I'm older, I can take criticism. It's cool. But don't do that to this day. Because you're like an annoying little stepbrother or stepsister that just speaks. But, deep breaths. After that, it was a combination of, going on a walk, take yourself outside, let the air cool you, chill out, chill you out. Well, actually, like I said, let it calm your mind.
Okay.
And then you gotta have a clear head. And also, there's a phrase I do want to talk about something when I get to the ladies, but I did that, and then also I had candles in here, aromatherapy.
Okay.
When I light a candle to breathe in the good essence of it, and then just chill. Kind of like a chi, like I said, a chi cleanser. More often than not, cleansing that anger. That you need to have an atmosphere around. I even got one underneath a freaking table over here.
A candle?
But, yeah, got one over here, and it was just a matter of just like really just unclutter that mind of yours. Try to relax. It ain't worth it. Sometimes I had a brother that worked coworker this week told me, Jay, don't get pissed at that because I went the same thing you went through. It's better, brother. He actually sat down and talked to me. I heard his words. Had I been 17 or below, I'd have got angry. I just went off. But it comes with experience and also learning the techniques that these older men had taught me to do. And also going on the walks and the meditation and the breathing. That was the key starter. Another factor came was reading when I'm angry. I read a lot, and somebody says reading is boring and I can't do it. I'm sorry, bro. If I can do it, you can do it. And it just, I mellowed into that. And I should not say this because this technically, I'm not telling somebody to do this when they get angry, but I guess it's when you're wore down and tore down a little bit. What I find the most comforting, it's either a cup of tea when I wake up in the morning or in the afternoon. I'm talking about hot, not cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, like I need the hot one because the cold one is just, I can just be a lot abrasive as much as I want. But when it's hot and cold, I settle down. So it just keeps me at peace, and it literally keeps my chakras in a good level. So, just and soothes the mind. I've always said that. Well, when aromatherapy and hot tea, when you're like really, and meditation all soothe the mind. And not to let your anger corrupt you, get the best of me, because when you're angry, you do stupid things. And trust me, you're not in your right mind. Now, there's a phrase I wanted to say to the ladies, but this goes to men too. This goes to both of y'all. The phrase, I'm pretty sure you've all heard the phrase, don't go to bed angry.
Mm-hmm.
Go to bed angry. And the reason why that is, if you guys have had some type of dispute or anything, it's better to be angry now, get it out. When you're all, I'm not saying not worn out, when you've exhaled all the anger out and you're in a good mind to talk about the issue that was had last night.
So you're saying have angry sex?
I didn't say have angry sex. You can try that. You can try that, but I'll be honest. I think that's something that's made up. Personally, I have never. they could never angry.
Listen, I don't like angry
Right.
sex. I don't like angry food.
Oh,
If it's
Angry
angry,
food, that's
I don't
dope.
want it because you can get angry food. I often tell that to my wife.
looks like-
You okay in there? Because I don't want no angry food. You know how they go to cooking you some angry food.
Poison
throwing
it.
stuff around.
Yeah, just the pots and the pans, and it's like
High
this,
grits.
this food has a spirit behind it. Wait
High
a minute,
grits.
hold on. But to answer this question about going to bed angry, I don't agree with that. The reason why I would say that is because I am in the frame of mind that tomorrow is not promised to me, and neither
That's
is
fair.
it to my wife. And so, God forbid, if we were to go to bed angry and one of us wake up dead, which tomorrow is not promised to any of us.
That's true.
So this is that. Now that's a major reason for me, is because tomorrow's really not promised to me. I could go in my sleep, and then how would she feel? Because we went the last conversation we
Last
had,
conversation.
we were
Was that-
angry.
Yeah.
So that's why it says don't let the sun go down on your wrath. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm just speaking of a spouse wise. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Mhm.
hey, there could be people on your job that pissed you off all day, and you took it to bed with you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that
And
often
listen,
does
I
happen.
bet that has happened to me. That has happened to me. You see what I'm saying? But I try to get over it at least. I don't want to go to bed like that, because I want to wake up peaceful. Because I feel like if I go to bed with it, I'm gonna wake up with it. Believe me,
Mm.
I'm definitely gonna wake up with it.
He said, "I'm definitely gonna wake up." I
No,
feel you.
because that's what I'm
brother.
saying. Because I'm gonna be pissed off that I couldn't hardly get any sleep. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I gotta get to a place where I can let it go. And but it's not easy all the time. And have I ever went to bed angry? Yes. Come on. Let's not try to paint this perfect picture
Perfect picture.
life. You see what I'm saying? No. Definitely I have. You see what I'm saying? But I do know that when I got up, hey, I carried it with me to work the next day or wherever. You see what I'm saying? So it's not going to leave until you let it go. I'll just leave it like that. It's not going to go anywhere till you let it go.
Let it go.
Well, I can't go to sleep angry. I will keep myself up all night. Then I'll be pissed that I'm tossing and turning, getting up, going to get some water, going back, watching them, go in the room, because I done went out the other room, grab my pillow. I'm in the living room. I'm in the second bedroom. Now I go back in the room, look at them. They knocked out. And I'm like, why he sleep? I'm slamming doors and yeah, I'm gonna make your life miserable. So, and then I wake up with a headache because
sorry.
I'm so tired. And I'm pissed off again because I woke up with a headache in the middle of the night.
Right.
But
And-
he can go to sleep. He will sleep.
Yeah.
He'll try a few times, but then he knocked out, and I'm like, this fool is knocked out.
Yeah,
And
you
then
know
I
what?
drain
That is
myself
so crazy.
emotionally and physically, and then I'll pass out somewhere. Then I wake up angry that I'm in the other room or somewhere else, and I ain't in my bedroom because he done pissed me off. So yeah, it become a whole Lifetime movie, and I ain't got time for that.
Hey, listen,
Oh,
listen.
those
Queen,
Lifetime
my mom
movies,
used to do that.
man.
My mama watched that.
Ah,
She's trying to knock herself to sleep. I remember being a kid. She used to watch this Lifetime at night, and my dad would just leave it in the bed like, she always sleeps with the TV on. That's the stuff he would tell me. I'm like, I don't know. You didn't tell me. I woke up and went to the bathroom. I saw the light on. I was like, yeah. He says, don't worry. She always has it up when she's trying to sleep. She ain't angry. She just can't sleep right now. But I guess and Queen B, you said for the female side, what would I tell them to do? Not I don't know if they're gonna listen to me, but hold on.
So what if I say, one, I don't want to put your relationship business out there if you don't want to, but
Go ahead.
Are you in a relationship?
Currently, yes.
Okay, so have you and your partner dealt with a time where you were in a space, they maybe picked and prodded a little too much, and you're like, you know what? I need a moment. Like, what do you want women to know when it comes to approaching, addressing, poking prod in the bear? When you are, yeah.
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay. Like, coming, I guess, talking about a situation that may seem irksome to you or to your spouse. Okay, that's fine. I can answer that. We haven't had that previously because I think I've learned from my previous endeavors. But the best advice I would tell you guys, freaking Nat, I'll kill you in a second. Yeah, I didn't hear that.
I got them too.
I don't like bugs either, man. I don't like bugs.
No, because I normally don't have gnats in my room to clean. Just one is flying around right in my light. But let me answer your question. The best thing I would tell you to do is one, be civil when you pull them. I would say pull them to the side, calmly and civilly, and just talk to them about the grievances that you do not like or that you noticed, and just don't make a fuss about it. Just tell them. And don't get, and I'm gonna tell you this, because ladies, you have a bad habit of doing this. I get on dudes. I'm gonna get on dudes after this, but let me get to ladies, because ladies first, and then we're gonna grill the men. You have a bad, really nasty habit of raising your voices, and you need to be gentle and sit down and relax and hear what he has to say. It's not at that point. It's not a matter of who's right, who's wrong.
Wait, listen. Can you say that? Can you say that just a little slower though?
Okay, you need to. I love you, brother Vaughn. Yeah. When you, I would say this. So, like I said, you need to be civil. You need to be gentle, and you need to hear what he has to say, and not make it a right or, like I said, because it's not about a right or wrong type of situation. It's about hearing your partner what they have to say, and actually giving them the floor. Because like I said, if he gives you the floor, I know other guys that let the women give them the floor first to speak their grievances, and we will listen. But when we have to speak, it's like you roll your eyes, you move all this head around, like you got to stop that shit.
Ooh, shit.
I'm gonna say that right there. I'm trying not to use profanity right now, but you got to stop that. That is disrespectful on every level, and you rolling your eyebrows as if you were a 5-year-old little girl. It ain't helping me, ain't convincing me that you really care about my opinion or what I have to say. Because if I cared, because I'm gonna tell you this, if I didn't care about you, I wouldn't be with you and I wouldn't be talking to you. Number one, it wouldn't be a relationship with you. No, all three of those things. So you have to really get out your goddamn ego and your pride, and get out your Ursula energy and listen. Now let me go to dudes. Okay, guys, time to get hammered.
I like the well-roundedness of it all. I like that. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. That's our time to ground our brothers. All right, bro. Listen, you may not like the stuff she says or some stuff like that, but you need to listen to her. One of the key components is listening. I'm a good listener. I observe everything. That's why some of my girlfriends were scared that I actually paid attention. Because it means they can't pull a fast one on me later on. That's one of the things that actually scared them about me. Because I actually pay attention. Because if they think I'm reading my book, I'm like, no, I'm listening to you. So you can't bring something up saying that I didn't do such and such later on. If you pay attention to your lady, trust me, there are little quirks and things like that. And also if you have a grievance with her, it's best for her to speak her mind out first and get it off. More often than not, because like I said, because if you notice things, you will bring them up and actually hear her. And the thing is, don't be defensive. Don't say, but you just said no. Shut up and listen to her. I don't want to say shut up, but just take a step back. This is a gentle way of me saying this for you. Take a step back and hear what she has to say. Because like I said, it can be something of good importance. And also, if it's something that she's doing purposely, I would say call her out on it. But like I said, call each other out on stuff that you both are doing. And the thing is, you each take your time peacefully to work out each grievances you have. And I've always said this, like I said, you do the work on each of them, then that relationship is less of a headache now and more of a, I say blessing, but I would say more, it's more fruitful to progress at that point. Because I said, in a relationship, there's going to be a speed bump in the road, brother. And guess what? You got your buddies to vent to, but at the same time, they're going to, if your boys are your boys, they're going to tell you what you're doing wrong. and what you what you do to rectify that, man. You're a man. You're a man of the relationship. You need to be able to hear her out, but also set the boundaries that you both have set to make sure no one steps over them. So that's why I said, so I'm not granting you brothers as much, but I am telling you to shut up and freaking listen to your lady, because she has a voice. A relationship is never one way. Never.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've learned.
All right.
Because like I say, because listen, if you want a robot, go out there and find Eggman and let them build you one.
Okay.
But
you say Eggman.
Brothers, that's what you need to do. Because like I said, if she understands you, and also if you understand her, that's a less of a headache and less of a battle.
Yeah.
At the house. It's actually, like I said, you're more in a fruitful situation prior to you just being angry all the time. And please, I could reference so many bad, angry relationships that are not good for anybody to be in. But that's all I have to say.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Mr. J. I love your perspective on every topic that you come up on. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to recognize Let's Talk the Better Black Life in the comment section. And my girl, Brianna Cusick. Thank you so much for stopping through. I just want to thank everybody, like, for everything you shared. Everyone that's in the chat, in the comment, hit the like button. Like, for all the people that's in the chat, like, hit the like button, share this video with somebody. Start your own conversations about how men deal with anger. How can the female counterparts help you all and understand you all? And I'm going to post this list. It's going to be anonymous, but I'm going to post the 10 things that you guys came up with that you want women to know. So.
Oh, okay. So we came up with 10 pretty good things, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to read the list again real quick.
All right.
And y'all can find me at Quabila Jones on Facebook. So I will post this on my Facebook page a little later. If not tonight, then in the morning. What men wish women knew. 1, we're human. 2, allow the same grace given to women. 3, 4 needs of a man. And these are all clumped together. Honor and respect, sex, best friend / companion, and domesticated lifestyle. 4, love unconditional.
I'm sorry, domesticated lifestyle. I love that.
Well, for those
that sounds like a dog. I'm sorry. I know what you mean. I'm not laughing at your list. I'm laughing at how it was written.
I didn't write the list.
To you, sister. I love you.
Okay. 4, love unconditionally. 5. Stop laughing.
I'm trying. I'll mute myself.
So 5, forgiveness. 6, cooperation in all forms. 7, communication. 8, understanding. 9, tenderness. And 10, not purposely disrespecting boundaries, or basically respecting boundaries. We're just going to say respecting boundaries. So those are 10 things that the gentleman came up with tonight. So look, again, I'm going to post this on my Facebook page, Quabila Jones on Facebook, and y'all could just add to the list as you would like. So I would just want to say thank you all. Jay, I always love when you come up. We're here every Tuesday, so whenever you're free, come on by. Vaughn, thank you for being such a gracious co-host.
Thank you.
Any topics you feel we need? Oh, the 33 things of how men express hurt. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite interesting.
All
I was
right.
going to add it into this conversation, but the way you were taking it, I just wanted to follow, what you were doing and be a part of it that way. But definitely a part two could definitely happen. Now, come on, it can.
Yes.
I think it's still good information. Even though we may not, agree with all 33 concepts, but at the same time, this is what they're putting out there. You know what I'm saying? So
33 flavors, man.
Hey, there you go.
I was gonna say a rap song came to mind, but I'm not gonna say it because
There's actually a song called that's his name, but that's always been a take
33
on
flavors
things.
of my bootylicious bubble gum. Okay, anyway, I had to get it out.
No, Queen B. No. Thank you for having me. And also, sorry I came a little bit late. I was actually trying to figure out when the stream was going to start. I'm like, come on, when does it start? I'm waiting. I kind of just
You
went
know
on
what?
for about an hour.
Listen. It's always good to see you, Jay, man.
Mhm.
You know, you're a young man that I really am so grateful to see a young man as yourself that you know, has some values.
Yes.
And you know,
Still working on it.
you're not so modernized until you didn't reach back and see some and get some of those nuggets, you know, see what I'm saying, and learn from some of those past nuggets, you know. And I see that in you a great deal, man. So kudos to you, man. Just be encouraged, continue to do what you're doing, man.
Hey man, listen, I'm gonna be real. Thank you. Thank the old school G's, the cats, and the sisters from back in the day that always talk to me. And also, I'm gonna throw a shout out. They may be Caucasian, but they really got me thinking differently now. And I sent them a therapy, like the stuff they talk about, like literally about couples and things like that needs to. And by the way, they're not doing this for a profit. The difference is one is a filmmaker and one is an actual licensed couples therapist and a family therapist. So what he says has more merit than all these other idiots out here.
Right.
More because he's actually
coming from a clinical aspect,
so
right?
He actually has some experience. And by the way, both of them are married, so they definitely can speak about and their parents. So they can definitely speak about some of the things that you know, the things that we speak about. But what makes me really happy to hear the things that they are saying about being a decent person and actually understanding your significant other, not just my way, highway nonsense.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm talking about the ones with the ladies that we have picked, but also like the ones we pick wisely with, and also we may have a little, you know, I say a little tug of war. I said a little. Not like it's like going on divorce. I mean, in the sense of like, you know, we have a grievance, so let's talk it out. Like I said, I'm not above understanding. I'm willing to sit down and talk to you if there's an issue with something. And I'll hear out my other ear. That's only if you're like a freaking professor and you're bored the shit out of me. But you know, when you're my significant other, I take the time to listen. That's what I'm saying. And I think a lot of guys gotta just really realize, you know, sit down and hear. Of course, trust me, the only thing that's non-negotiable is one, sweetheart, you ain't gonna cheat on me.
Yeah.
Listen, I ain't sharing you with nobody.
There's some definite no's.
No,
that's right.
That's right. And number 3,
that's
I don't
right.
do divorces. That's just me. When I picked you, I picked you. I picked anybody else. And listen, this is my kingdom. Ain't nobody gonna come here and ruin everything that I fucking worked my ass off for. So that means what I'm building for our future generations, ain't nobody getting away with that. They come in, listen, you come to my front door with that nonsense, I'll get my grandma's cane and I'll beat your ass.
Oh God, not the great.
That's how and listen, I mean that very respectfully.
Well, you know, in some countries they actually beat people with canes. So
yeah, hey, listen, this is a cane and hey, listen, would you take a cane or a gun? I'm not gonna take the cane. At least you gonna live.
At least you can live to tell about it the next day, right? Hey.
Yeah, I'll be working at the hospital. I don't want your sugar auntie be hitting me. That woman hits like freaking Jackie Robinson. Like, no.
Wow.
Oh God.
Yeah. So you know, Queen B, like, you know, we talk about these topics and stuff. I love the energy you bring, and I love that. I love the prospects that you bring here. Giving me some hope that one of your daughters will speak like this. More ladies will speak like this in general. Yeah. But like I said, all I can do is mend the fences in the sense like that, and just give out the advice whenever I can to guys who are willing to listen, and you know, and not to really rely on like anger or anything like that. Like just try to come from a place of understanding. And no, I'm not extending an olive branch. What I'm doing is I'm lending an ear, a voice, and some eyes to help you out. Oh yeah, and a pair of hands too. Not forget that, because like I said, because you need everything in your capabilities to be able to help somebody, or to be able to hear someone out. And Brother Clarence, I got him talking about a story about him about hearing somebody out just a week ago. So, like I said, the work can be done. It's just a matter of like, you know, speak to your partner. Don't treat her like she's a robot. Don't treat him as if he's a boy toy, ladies. Yeah. I get on. Like I told you, I'm going on both of y'all. No boy toy for you, no robot for you, dude.
Exactly.
Just
It
yeah,
should be well rounded. You know,
around it and
not
just
one sided,
the
but
willingness to hear
well
each other
rounded. Exactly.
and yeah, and learn some wisdom from these
And that
incidents.
way,
I wouldn't say incidents, but like I would
right.
say cookie cutters in the
Yeah.
road. Just learn from them.
But you
That's
know
the
what?
best
When
way I
you
can
do
say it.
when you do it that way, you know, it lets each group that you're addressing know that I'm not just spending more time on your side than I am on this side. I'm addressing you both. See what I'm saying? So now don't get upset about it. And so, you know, and say, well, oh, he's just talking about the women. You know, I gotta speak to the men as well. And I have to have that balance. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, we all have things that we need to get together about each other so that these relationships can work, because apparently they're not working, right?
Something ain't working. Something ain't
Okay.
working.
The Queen Bee, I agree with you. They're not working, which is why I say we may give everybody a mind wipe. Dead ass. I'm like, we need some Terminator technology. I need like a mind wipe. That's what they need.
Yeah.
Well, not for me. No, not me. I'm cool. I need those experiences. That helps me. Because I probably I might go psycho in the other way if I get my mind wiped. So I'm good.
Like that,
I'm stable.
It's like that factory reset, right?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah,
like total
reset it back to the way it was before you started all this other craziness. You know, just reset it back to the factory form. When you know, when we got it, it was fresh.
It was fresh. Like you have a fresh new start, fresh new everything.
Right. But then we added all these other things to it, and you know, now there's malfunctioning and all kind of different things going on. So we need a factory reset.
And
I like that mind or wipe thing that you said. That makes sense.
I've always said for the people who are, you know, the people who are hurt to beyond repair, that even therapy couldn't help, do a mind wipe. Yeah. And also let them you know, live the life they want to live after that. Of course, they'll still have the basic understandings of everything else, but just when it comes to relationship things, that's up to them. That's fresh. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, that's how I would do that. The reason why I would do it like that is because, like I said, when you all this jadism, you know, this jadism and freaking just corrupt blackness that you got inside you, trust me, it takes a hold of you and it makes you turn you into something ugly that you want to be, man and woman. And
that's right.
And trust me, I'll be honest. Thank all the movies you watched when you were younger. Thank the grandmas that were in your life, that were all there. People important to you to help you, to guide you in some sense. If I didn't have the people that I had, like I had a lot of people. Actually, it's a miracle I'm even fucking here. Pardon my French. It really is a miracle, dead ass. Because I could have went complete 360 left, but I'm in the right lane.
It's a reason. Right, it's a reason why you're still here.
Yeah.
You have a purpose. You have a purpose, man.
Right.
But, you know, your purpose is right in front of you. Your destiny, you know, that mark that you got to meet. It's there. You have a purpose.
Right.
You know.
And like I said, with the lady I'm with now, my only thing is, because I've never. Okay. Oh, I won't reveal that. I'll reveal that backstage. But I will say this with the lady I'm with now. New thing for me completely. Like I said, really worried about. You know, just like I said, just not trying to screw up or whatever. I'm doing good so far.
Okay.
And that is not a constant worry or anything like that. More confident with my abilities, but also I'm paying attention if I'm doing anything wrong.
Okay.
But as far as I know, I've not been doing anything wrong.
Oh, she will let you know.
She'll let me know if I was. And also, she's direct like me, which I like.
Oh, wow.
I don't have to play 21 questions and guessing games.
That's awesome. I get it.
That makes it a lot easier.
You know how hard I have to freaking read people's minds for this
That
stuff.
makes it a lot easier, man.
Yeah, I'm just be like, what did I do? Tell me. I didn't talk to a lady. What did I do? Tell me. Trust me, that kills anybody on the inside. What did I do? I didn't make a decision without you. What? Trust me. You see this in movies too. Like what? So you know. Like I said, don't make it about you. Just make it understand like you're sharing your life with someone, and having an ear open, Pay attention to the little things that either she does, you do. And also little things don't ever get to me. It's well, actually, big things don't get to me. Sometimes it might be little things, which is crazy for me because it's like, not bills because I can pay those, not a problem. It's just always the little things that you got to pay attention to because they always turn into something bigger, which I have constantly underestimated. Don't underestimate it now, but like I said, all you can do is learn from your experience. And I've always said, don't be ignorant. Hear your partner out. And like I said, don't make it about you. I will say to you blue in the face, don't make it about you. Okay. It's about y'all. We a unit right now. And trust me, a unit is only strong as the people who are loose or who are fortified. So I would say this. I would say Brothers Vaughn, based on how he speaks, him and his wife's union is as strong as a fucking bedpost steel.
Yeah, we listen. It wasn't easy getting there, brother. Now,
no. I'm not saying it is because
sometime I knock my head against that bedpost too. Now, I'm just saying.
Hey, man,
but the commitment, the commitment and the love is there.
Yeah,
and so we work through adversities. At this point, why stop now?
Yeah,
what I'm
don't
saying?
Stop. I would say do it. Yeah. I won't say blue in the face, but do it until like you guys are into your next journey. Like,
but even in the longevity that I have been blessed to have in my marriage, there are still things that are unacceptable and red flags.
Okay.
Wait, let me say it this way: there are still deal breakers.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Just because you had longevity don't mean that there's not still some deal breakers. See what I'm saying? If I'm gonna tip out every Tuesday night, see, that might be a deal breaker. If she's gonna tip out every Thursday night, see, that might be a deal breaker.
I ain't heard their term in a long time. Tip it out.
I know. I'm listen. I'm a little bit older, but yeah.
Hey man, that wisdom.
you know what I'm saying though? So there's still, you still have to know, even though you're growing in your relationship, there's always those things that are unacceptable are always going to continue to be unacceptable.
That's right.
Nothing's going to change about what's unacceptable. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Yeah. So yeah, man, and so hey, listen, some days I have to take the L.
Okay.
And I ain't talking about the train in Chicago. See what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
Sometimes I got to do it and say, hey, you know what? You're right, honey. You're right. I was wrong that time. I missed the mark that time.
Okay.
Right.
And each time, and we have to understand each time we miss the mark, your lady is looking at that, so we can't miss the mark on a continual basis. You know what I'm saying? Listen, mistakes are gonna happen. Things are gonna happen.
Yeah.
But there's some mistakes that are just unacceptable. Those are deal breakers. And some people don't see it that way, but I do. And that's what keeps me on my toes. That's what keeps me in the place that I'm in, because I already know I can't do this and that and think that I'm going to maintain this. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that type of, passport, submissive, I'll do whatever you say type of woman.
Well, okay, first of all,
let me say that again. Can I say that one more time? Because I know I'm gonna get blocked from YouTube for that one.
Oh God.
But see, I don't have that type of passport, do what you say, roll under the table because you breathe type of woman. I have a woman that knows how to stand up for herself respectfully and demand respect within her right.
Okay.
And if I'm off kilter, she has no problem with letting me know about it respectfully.
Okay.
And so that's what I see, and that's what keeps me on my toes with her, because it's just like a delicate flower. See what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not going to put it in certain positions because it's a delicate flower. I have to treat it a certain way. Anyway, let me not go on about that. But I done started that again. Lord have
No,
mercy.
no,
Queen,
no.
Queen, Queen. Why didn't you stop me?
Hey, look, don't start me about these passport women because y'all think y'all getting the submissive, do whatever a man say, you rule me. But you got to understand there's a motive on the other side too.
See now, look,
They
see,
want
see,
something
Quabila,
from
I
you.
started
So
something. I wasn't trying to do
keep
it.
going over there.
Yes,
Y'all
you
can
were.
have your passports and go get the mountain woman who will herd a goat and cut it up for you. But guess what?
Wait a minute. Do what?
She wants something from you.
You said she got to get the
from you.
what?
That's all I'm gonna say. Passport women have ulterior motives too. And if you
Well, see, like I say, I got one of those.
If you can't
Go ahead.
deal with
I'm sorry.
yourself, if you can't deal with yourself to deal with an American woman, that means that you are the toxic person too. And you trying to portray that on one person, but toxicity breeds toxicity, baby. And you attracted it. So look in the mirror. You know, Michael Jackson had a song for all of y'all, for everyone. I'm starting with the man, woman, whatever in the mirror. Keep getting them stamps on your passport. You gonna come back with something more than just a stamp. That's all.
Well, listen, I didn't mean to start that. Quabila. Honestly,
Yes, you
I
did.
did not mean to start. Look at Jay. Jay, really?
I'm being funny. I don't think you did on purpose, but you did bring it up. No,
but you know, I know, but you know, I've been kicked out of the club a while back, so it's okay though. I'm good with it.
You're married. You're cool. You're cool.
I'm trying to look up the concept, because I think I've kind of heard it, but I'm not familiar with exactly what this concept is. A passport women.
Passport women.
Passport bros.
I've never heard that. I just kind of.
I've never heard passport women, but then they call them what's the word?
Oh,
not deflecting, but Lord have mercy, I can't think of the name.
What is it, Vaughn?
Divester.
Divester.
You know, they will refer to the female as a divester. I've heard that. Because she's divested from her, black male counterpart.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? And now she's got blah, blah, blah. But then when we do it, we're called passport bros. I mean, this is the terminology that I've come to understand in these, some of these spaces,
right?
I'm not talking about the women that travel. I'm talking about the women that you passport brothers go get.
Exactly. And I agree with her on that. I agree with you on that. I agree.
Y'all tripping.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Well, Quinn, I wouldn't say they're tripping. No, okay. I'm not speaking for all.
No,
of them.
when I say hold on,
one group that I know tripping,
when I say they're tripping, I mean the fact that they think that instead of dealing with themselves and why they are attracting these type of women, they deal with that. They think running to a different country
is going to change
because of the women that they see who appear to be submissive. But you got to understand culturally, what are those men doing? So you can say those women are submissive. You can say that those women are agreeable and all this other stuff. But what are those men doing? And then a lot of those women are groomed from children to have no voice, to have no say-so, to have no opinion, and just to shut up and submit. Half of them are being married as kids. They're being married.
Well, listen, I'm gonna bow out of this one. I'm gonna bow out.
No, I'm not.
It's my fault. I know it's my fault, and I take full responsibility.
Vaughn, stop that. We're not having a debate. I'm just going to talk in a few things, and then I'm
all right. Go ahead.
No, but Queen. On some countries you are right, in some countries that's not right, because some of them do raise their ladies to be smart, have their own mindset, all that. They do that. Some of them. And I can name the ones since Japan does that for their ladies. Japan, they are all freaking educatedly smart. They are not born to shut up and dribble. That's not what they're supposed to do.
But there are also a lot of those women too. Divorce is not looked at as a good thing A lot of those women, I've known quite a few, and if the husband is doing what he needs to do financially, whatever, don't matter what he do, those women, some cultures, divorce is not looked at as something to be shined for. I'm not saying it's all everyone. All I'm saying is that when you have the mindset to think that these women, all these other cultures, except for the black woman in America, is gonna be submissive and gonna do all this stuff, you're living in a delusional world.
No, I agree with you on that.
So that's my only argument with it. And a lot of cultures is embedded in them to submit as a very young age. Why do you think there is child marriage or kid marriage?
That's
groomed.
a deeper talk in the Middle East and we'll get into.
Pick their mates. They're not picking their mate because they're great men. They're picking their mates because the family got money.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So that's a whole nother story. So keep going to these countries thinking you getting something that, when you ain't half of the men that they used to. So they're just using you for something.
Wow.
They're using you for a stamp in their passport for citizenship.
Wow, so that's interesting. That's interesting.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's how it's done, though.
So yeah, that's all I'm saying. But anyway, I know QB's ready to go. She like, y'all done got me into a whole nother topic. I'm taking notes.
I want to be.
And you know what? And listen, it was my fault. Actually, it was my fault. Right. It was my fault. Actually, I meant to just.
Really, it was your fault?
I accidentally went there, Brother Jay. So.
No, I know.
In passing,
definitely
in passing. That's all.
But there's probably people who weren't real familiar with it. Like I'm familiar with, men in general going overseas, seeking women they think are better than the American women. Thinking that they're going to get this docile woman they can just treat any kind of way, and she's going to accept.
I want to correct you on that. They can't treat him any kind of way. Because guess what? I tell everybody this because one of my brothers actually is married. He has 2 Middle Eastern wives.
Okay.
And the thing is, someone's talked about if you're gonna bring her back the way that I gave it to you.
Okay.
That. So you can't do whatever you want. So I gotta correct that to everybody.
Okay.
You can't do whatever you want. Because like I said, please believe. And even in Japan, please believe they will get you. Women are protected. See, people be thinking these ladies ain't protected out here. So that's why I want ladies in America to get it twisted as if they're not protected. Well, maybe the American women ain't protected, but the women down there sure are. And the thing is, if you do anything that's outside of the norm to those ladies, just trust me, America will not protect you, and you will not be safe. So that's why I said it's not meant for these boys out here to think they got everything. They don't. Like I said, I'll be in Japan in maybe like 3 or 4 years. So whether my lady I'm with comes with me or I have to find a lady down there, I'm not looking to tell her what to do. Simply, I'm looking for quiet, Simon. I'm trying to talk. I'm simply looking for somebody to spend the rest of my life with. And whether, like I said, she has her individuality, her personality, all that, that's cool. As long as there are boundaries that you set in place to be agreed upon, you're fine. That's it. Ain't nobody here trying to be. Listen, I said this before. Ain't nobody gonna control nobody like no robot. Please believe. If this was the older times, please understand. Rebellion is in everyone. Ain't no lady just gonna sit there and take that abuse, especially one in Brazil. And those are sisters. I want to tell Queen B. They actually do go for Brazilian ladies because they are black out there too. So they do go for black ladies. It's not they don't want black ladies. They do. They do get some Brazilian ladies. So I want to throw that in there for you. It's just because I know cats that doing that. But it's so it's like black women, yes, they do. They just ain't gonna get them from there. They got them from Rwanda. They've gone to Africa, they've gone to them. I've seen it.
What?
Now granted, it is good thing because it's still a black sister. It's just not. The difference is she's not Americanized, indoctrinated.
Oh boy! Wow. Oh.
Okay, Simon, what you got to say?
I'm about to say he about to say quack.
Jay chatting some shit. I mean, what? What you really like? You know what these women look like? Are you being for real?
I know what some of them look like.
You know what these women look like? Are you being for real?
I do.
So you've been there, or are you just looking at the internet and just going, okay, I'm making an assumption.
No, I'm not making an assumption. I actually FaceTimed them before.
FaceTime.
Yeah, I'm not now.
You ain't been there.
No, hold on. I would correct everybody.
Have you been to Japan?
I'm not FaceTiming them now, but I've seen them previously throughout the years. That's different.
Look, what do you have to say about him, Simon?
I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to like look, I like Jay because Jay's cool. But I'm just saying, be careful. Like, you don't wanna be FaceTiming people. You got, like, I'm telling you, I've been there. Like wow. Like, that's why I'm sort of like probably coming on here and you're feeling like I'm certain like talking a certain type of way. I'm kerfuffled. I'm like, wow. Do you know what I mean? Have you actually been there? Like, it's just different. Like, it's different from being there.
As opposed to talking on the yeah, I know. Like I said, me and my brother are going on a Costa Rica trip, freaking next year. So yeah, we're going over there actually too. Go ahead.
You hear the first part of his comment about how we got to where we are. We were talking about men who leave America to go to other countries thinking they're getting a better woman that is going to be more agreeable than the women in America. But these women also have ulterior motives, as Queen was saying. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, because
I mean, they get a deal just like every other dude. You'll get this, but this is the deal.
It's kind of interesting because I find that, unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but unfortunately, whatever country you go to, we seem to have the same problems with the same black people. We seem to have the same problems in our relationships, and that is really unfortunate.
So, do men from London go to other places to get other women?
I mean, you guys have seen it in the US, like in terms of, it depends on what kind of stature you hold, what kind of status you hold. So if let's say you're in the creative industry and you're an actor, you'll see Idris Elba or Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, man.
Idris Elba. You know, and that's historic. Okay. When I came up and I was doing my thing, what they told me is to go to the US. That's what they told me.
Is to go to the US.
Yeah, because predominantly it's more black people over there. Like, you know, that's what it is. Okay. So what happens is it's not sort of like a personal thing. It's a demographic. And in terms of our demographic in the UK, that doesn't weigh up in the same way as it does in the US. In terms of like the black progressiveness that's actually happened. You guys are able to actually get a house. You're actually able to get a home. You're able to sort of just walk and talk and say what you want. You have a freedom. We don't have that. It's still very 19. I'd say 30 over here. You
Huh?
don't realize how good you got it.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
I'm talking. Just you can ask me where you are. That's what I mean. Like sometimes it's like it comes across a bit aggressive, and like it can be like that. But the fact is, it's like you don't realize how good you are. You like I look at you and you're comfortable.
Me?
Anyone.
Oh.
It's not you in particular. I'm just saying anyone, and we're still struggling right here. But silently, like we can't sort of put up a whole march because we know that at the end of the day, what's going to happen is we've done and tried that before, and it's horrible. So what's going to happen is we're going to put up a whole march, and we're going to try and get people together, and we'll try to cluster people together. And we've been doing this since we landed. We're just black people in a white island, and that's all it is. Like, and we've been trying to sort of pull it up, but at the end of the day, it's a problem. It's a real problem. So here's what it is. And that's why we relate to you so much, and that's why we're in touch with you so much. It's not anything else.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Simon. I hate that you missed the rest of the conversation because we were talking about men and anger and how they deal with it. But we're 2.5 hours in. I'm on a different time zone than y'all.
It's time to sleep.
It's
for me too, and everybody else.
I know you got to be real tired, Corporate, huh? Right?
Well, not tired. It's 10 o'clock, and it's.
Oh, you're an hour behind. Yeah, you're an hour behind.
It's still it's quite early here in California, so. But but I get it. I understand.
Not LA people, I know.
Yeah, we it's basically just 8:15 here, so
yeah.
I still have an hour or two before I have to lay down.
I love Vaughn. Let me try and get smart with me. He's like, well, actually 8:15 here, sir.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a little bit early still, but great conversation, everyone.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it tonight. I really
nobody got
enjoyed
heated or angry.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't yell at each other. We didn't cut each other at the throat. You know what I'm saying? We really learned something today, and so that's meaningful to me.
When I tell y'all I pray over my shows, I
did too.
I'm not with the foolishness. I'm not with the foolishness. Not today. So I gotta acknowledge Queen before we go, because that's where we were going with this. Queen, did you have anything you want to say to wrap us up?
No, I'm good. Stop running from who you are. Face them.
Right.
That relationship has a lot to do with you too.
Alrighty. So I want to leave us with 2 quotes. The first one says, "For every minute you remain angry, you give up 60 seconds of peace of mind." That's from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And shoot. Okay. I just lost anger is an asset that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than anything on which it is poured. That's by Mark Twain. So think about that when you're dealing with anger. How much you will hold on to, why are you holding on to it, how do you need to work on it, work through it, work with, So hold his hand. Okay, anger, we finna go have a little chit chat, go take a run, whatever we finna do. But you can't stay here. You got to go somewhere else. So think about that. Anywho, this has been Conversations, where we take the train off the rail and go down the cliff and roll in the snowbank. So anywho.
All right.
Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Thank every single person in the chat, comment, and a panel, everything, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Miss
Thank
Intellectual.
you.
Thank you so much. And I hope y'all have a great and blessed Tuesday night wherever you are. Stay safe. Oh, and be intentional. And that's BEE. Be like the bees and be intentional. Anywho, y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
DJ.